Are you guys ready to see the ads that Josh Weil in not California, Florida's 6th congressional district has been running? Are you guys ready to see what this guy is like possibly using to flip the election? It's so good. It's so good. So good. Here we go. So I found his YouTube channel for the ads, and they're incredible.
Josh Weil, one badass teacher, a career in our public schools teaching math and science. Josh Weil, single father, patriot, now a badass candidate for Congress.
I'm Josh Weil. I'm not a career politician. I'm a math teacher, and I know the numbers aren't adding up for Florida families. I'll work to lower the cost of groceries and always protect Social Security. I approve this message because it's been too long since someone fought for you.
Josh Weil, one badass candidate.
Honestly, can I just say, Drop, thank you for the membership. I appreciate it. You know what? I love that ad's main pitch was, I'm a hot single dad, and I'm here to protect your Social Security. And I'm a math teacher. Hot single math teacher in your area. Like, 10 out of 10. Love it. And you know what? You say it will work in Florida? It has worked in Florida. That ad started running 3 weeks ago. And, shortly after that, polling came out that showed him within the margin of error in the Florida congressional race. And, sure, by the time this video goes out, people are going to be voting. It's going to be April 1st. It's going to be like less than 24 hours from now. But you know what? I still fucking love this ad. If you're in Florida, you better go vote. You're in Florida's 6th congressional district. You better go vote. All right? But also we've got other ads, okay? Are you guys ready for this?
I'm Josh Weil, and I approve this message.
Randy Fine, a corrupt millionaire and career politician. Fine was put under investigation by the State Ethics Commission. He tried to evade the law, hiding under his desk. Then, convicted of contempt for giving a judge the finger. Sentenced to anger management therapy. Fine even tried to cut off funding for the Special Olympics in a political feud and called a school board member a Randy Fine, we deserve better.
Like, damn, dude. Just going straight for the jugular on these ones. But also, of course, we're not done. There's 2 more. You guys ready?
I'm Josh Weil, and I approve this message.
Randy Fine, a violent, corrupt politician, so radical and dangerous, he supports the effort to cut $880 billion for Medicaid, devastating disabled children and those in nursing homes. Fine is so unhinged and anti-American, he supports the idea that Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time. He wants to cut $700 billion, stealing from your retirement. Randy Fine, unhinged, un-American.
What I love about these ads so much is how they are very clearly targeting like the boomer demographic in Florida that doesn't pay that much attention to politics, and they're just like, "Oh man, Randy Fine wants to cut my Social Security? Not on my watch." Hop on their little rascal scooters, get on over to the polls. I love it. It's some good shit. This is good politics. Here is the second to last ad that went up, started going out 4 days ago.
I'm Josh Weil, and I approve this message.
Randy Fine, a violent, corrupt
Similar.
Politician,
Little
so
different.
radical and dangerous, he supports the effort to cut $880 billion for Medicaid, devastating disabled children and those in nursing homes. Fine is so unhinged and anti-American, he supports the idea that Social Security is the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time. He wants to cut $700 billion, stealing from your retirement. Randy Fine, unhinged, un-American.
Just like it's so good. It's so good. And here's the last one. Broken promises.
Politics has always been an insider's game. the same politicians run for office over and over, raking in money from special interests and hiding out from their constituents. So what makes someone like me, a math teacher, a single dad, no deep pockets, no PAC money, feel compelled to run for office? I'm running because I'm fed up with broken promises. I made a promise to my kids to give them a solid education so they could flourish and maybe even do a little better than I did. But as an educator, I saw what was happening to our schools. Here in Florida, teachers are leaving by the droves, and up in Washington, they want to shut down the Department of Education. Where are we going to make up for that funding? Our country made a promise to every working person who paid into Social Security that those funds would be there when we retired. Our country made a promise that when we paid into Medicare, the health care we paid for would be there when we needed it. Our country made a promise to our veterans when they signed up to serve our country that we would take care of them. Now the richest people in the world are trying to crater the agencies we entrusted to fulfill those promises. Not to put that money to better use, but to put that money into their own pockets with yet more tax cuts for billionaires and big corporations. Is that what you voted for? Because I think we deserve better. We deserve better than climbing grocery prices and stagnant wages. We deserve better than a guy who picks a fight with the state's largest employer. We deserve better than erratic tariff policies that have sent our life savings into a nosedive. Tariffs are taxes on the consumer, period.
Like, great.
So I'm running because we
Great
deserve better than
communication.
broken promises. I'm Josh Weil, and if you elect me on April 1st, I'll fight to make sure this country keeps the promises it made to all of us. And you'll be my only special interest.
Ooh la la. I bet he pulls that with all the voters. But like, dude, this is good politics, guys. This is good politics. Dude is able to communicate succinctly to voters in a way that resonates. And I saw some people asking in that previous ad, why was there a Chinese flag? Because those ads about Medicaid and Social Security are designed to go out to the elderly. They're designed to go out to people who are just like China bad, who like associate Elon Musk with like working with China. You know, like that's where their head is at, you know? And like when they hear that and they see like, oh yeah, the communist Republicans in the White House are trying to take my Social Security. You know, that appeals to them. You know, like that's just good politicking right there. Like it's associating Randy Fine with, you know, people there like, or rather a country these people these voters don't like. And I think this was really great too. Like being able to communicate, like they're breaking their promises. They are coming for all of these things, and they are. The thing is, like, it's not playing on the fear when the fear is real. You know, like these people do want to gut Social Security. They've already closed like 60% of the field offices. They've already shut down your ability, if you're an elderly person, to call the helpline and do things over the phone. They have already systematically begun their assault on Social Security, their assault on Medicaid. And like this kind of thing is going to play very, very well in a special election, because special elections, guys, who tends to turn out for special elections? Anyone want to take a stab? Anyone want to take a stab at who turns out for special elections? Old people? Olds and Dems? Retired people? I would say older folks and high information voters. Those are the two groups that usually turn out. And so what you're seeing here is someone who understands who turns out and is communicating to them in, I think, a very effective way. And I think that Democrats are pissed as hell. And folks like Randy Fine thought he could just coast to an easy victory in a district that went to Mike Waltz by like 30 points. Guys, if Josh Weil wins this special election tomorrow, he will have flipped a seat that was like 33 points Republican. He will have moved it by like 40 points to win. That's why phone banking, that's why door knocking, that's why these things I've been pushing you guys to do, that's why it's so important, because right now, people are pissed. This is the best time to do this. And honestly, the closer we make this race, even if Josh Weil does not win on April 1st, even if he doesn't win, the closer we can make that, the more scared we can make Republicans in Congress. Because right now, what they're really banking on is like, yes, well, if we get that Elon Musk money in our race, we'll simply win, and we don't have to do anything. But what these races, like Josh Weil's and Susan Crawford's, show is, hey, you can have all the money in the world. It is not going to help you in the general. It is not going to save your ass. Because, folks, even if Josh Weil loses, if it's remotely close as the polling indicated like a week and a half ago, that's indicating a shift of like 25%. It's indicating a shift of like 30%. If we flip that seat, that means even Republicans in some of the safest seats in the country cannot rest on their laurels, cannot sit easy, cannot simply ignore rule of law, cannot simply feed their constituents into the wood chipper, because there will be a reckoning for them. Oh, the Kitsune Cavalier, it's closer than that. It's within 5 points. The race last checked, the margin of error is 5%. Josh Weil was down by like 4.4%. So we're in the final push. And these elections mean a whole lot. Yeah, this was a Trump plus 30 district. Even if it's a swing of like 20 points and like Randy Fine wins, this is going to get a lot of Republicans sweating. And I happen to be in the camp that believes Josh Weil has a really excellent shot of flipping this. And I could be wrong. And if I am wrong, I will be sad. But understand, the closer we get this race, the better it is for us. What kind of elections are these? Why are they happening so soon after the election? These are special elections that are happening. Zudo, thank you for the 3 tier 1 subs and for not being
I'm
transphobic.
Josh Weil and I'm angry and amazing. Vote for me and my egg prices.
You heard him. Vote for Josh Weil and his egg prices. So these are special elections, and they're happening because after the general election, Donald Trump appointed a number of people from safe conservative seats to different posts throughout the government, right? So in Josh Weil's seat, in the general election, Mike Waltz, who you might be familiar with from as like the guy who put together the Signal chat that has been one of the biggest national security leaks in U.S. history. Um, Donald Trump appointed Mike Waltz from this congressional district, Florida's 6th, into his government. So there has to be a special election in order to fill that seat. That's what this election is. Um, Similarly, Elise Stefanik in New York was going to be appointed as ambassador to the UN, but Republicans got scared of that special election. And so they suddenly and abruptly, a couple weeks ago, said, Actually, we're not doing a special election. Elise Stefanik is not going to be the UN ambassador. Ha 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 ha. Oh no, ha. So, like, they're already so scared that they pulled Elise Stefanik because they know people are that pissed. What they are trying to figure out, and why every Republican is paying attention to these special elections in Florida and in Wisconsin, what they're looking at is to see how cooked are they. The internal polling was so bad that they pulled Elise Stefanik, and now they're all sweating over these special elections. They are sweating so badly over this Susan Crawford election in Wisconsin that they had to pull in Elon Musk to fundraise. Like that's how badly they're doing, folks. So that's like things are not going well. Republicans are very aware of how angry the the American public is. And honestly, there is no sign in the immediate future that indicates that people are going to get less angry. I mean, we're coming into this week and like Donald Trump is expected to announce like a broad 20% tariff this week on all countries. And like man, business leaders are freaked out. People are freaked out. It is really fucking bad. This is going to hit everyone and it is going to get people are just going to get more angry as things get tighter economically. And my hope is that things get tighter and people get angry enough that like we don't have to sit through like 5 years of like or sorry, 3 years of like the economy getting worse and worse and worse before people hit like a point where they just blow their tops off, you know? Yeah, that's the thing. The United States economy, like, we are not a manufacturing hub. Doing tariffs does not work for us that well. I've been feeling lately that we're doing a slow boil. People are getting angry and angrier. It's not going to turn out well for Trump. No, it's not Little Morphine Annie. Also, hello, Little Morphine Annie. But I think I think that the reporting on protests makes it seem like things are at a slow boil. But I want you guys to understand, it's been like 2.5 months. In American terms, we're speed running this shit. We have had in last month, we had double the amount of protests against Donald Trump as we did in like February of 2017. Double. More than double, actually. I think we're actually boiling much more than people realize yet. You know? And like the more people do not see movement on this, the angrier they're going to get. And the thing is, it isn't as spectacular. The turnout isn't as big, at least on paper, as the BLM protests. Like you aren't able to look out in the streets yet and see that level of like mass mobilization, but I think we're gonna get there. I think people are really scared, and their anger is being kept in check for now with that fear, but they're still going to their meetings and they're getting angry at each other. And I think that that boiling point is rapidly approaching. I'm really interested to see how April 5th turns out, because on April 5th we're seeing that mass mobilization of, like, you know, 5051, indivisible, basically all these groups are coordinating on a day, and it will be very interesting to see how this works out. There are